Hello and welcome to the Cozy Bell.
Today we're going to be walking through the entire user interface and every menu so that you'll finally understand what is happening on your screen. Even some of the hidden features the game never actually explains to you. The first thing that we'll go over is the user interface itself. This is probably going to be what you see the most, so understanding it is top priority. In the top left corner sits your nameplate, which will show you your current skill level, any buffs that you have active, your focus bar, and an icon which shows the platform that you're playing on. As you can see, mine shows PlayStation, but yours may look different depending on the platform. Moving over, you'll see that in the top center is your navigational bar. This is where your directions for quests, markers, pins, and anything else that is needed to be tracked are displayed. Over on the top right is the minimap, which gives you time of day, your server time, a compass, and a quest tracker. And you can pin up to 3 quests at one time, which we'll explain in just a little bit. Depending on your current location, you may see these housing plot options at the bottom of your screen. And that's because I'm at my housing plot, these will pop up. They do not pop up anywhere else in game. These are basically shortcuts for building and editing your plot, so that's the only reason that we're seeing them here. And just below that is your item bar, and you can scroll up and down or go side to side to go through all these different items. Or you can actually just turn off all but one bar in your settings. And then finally, we have our chat window, which is down in the bottom left corner of the screen. Now that we have the user interface all out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about menus. So if you hit start on PlayStation, you'll bring up your player menu. And you'll notice that you'll see my inventory, and yours may not look the same because I have all the bags currently unlocked. If you're new to the game, you probably only have like 2, maybe 3 rows unlocked. And you can unlock these from going to Ziggy store and purchase them. I can't remember the prices offhand, but I think the first one starts out at 500 gold and then they go up in prices. And if you have a pet, you can go over to the sidebar here and you can send this stuff back to your house without actually going to your housing plot. By pressing R2 once, it will bring us over to our ammo bag. And this is basically where you'll see your worms, your smoke bombs, flares, arrows, etc. And again, you'll only have like 1 or 2 rows, or actually I think it's 3 or 4, and you'll have to upgrade this again to get more inventory slots. We'll press R2 once more and this will bring up our quest items. And you may be wondering why I have so many in my inventory. Well, unfortunately, it's just a glitch. These are supposed to disappear after you turn all these in or complete the quest. I have all these quests completed, but for some reason, the items are still in my inventory, which drive me crazy. They're kind of hidden, so it doesn't bother me as much. We'll press R2 once more, and it'll bring up our skills and stats. As you can see, each skill has its own level and its own icon. And you can also see how many skill coins you have earned per skill. Now these little coins can be turned in or traded to certain vendors, however you want to say it, for decorations for your housing and stuff, and wallpapers, etc. There are actually some really cool ones by doing this. We'll press R2 again, and this will bring up one of the most important tabs that is tucked away for some weird reason. This is where you can attach your fishing lures if you have any, bobbers, gliders, and quest-specific gear. Some quests won't progress unless you have an acquired tool placed into this slot, which confused a lot of players during the Elderwood quest. And then you have your romance pins, your relics, and pet slot if you have any of those unlocked. As you can see, I have 1 romance pin. I haven't got the second one just yet, but when I do, this will be where it's at. Pressing R2 once more. Yeah, I know, right? There's a million tabs here. Sorry, but we're almost done, I promise, with this menu. It'll bring our tool loadout up. And basically what this does is it'll show you what tools that you currently have in your inventory, and you can change them around so you can use them however you wish instead of having the default loadout, which is actually quite handy. The next one over is our currency tab. This is very important to keep an eye on sometimes. If you're new to the game, it's not that important, but later on it is, because this will show you your caps for like your gold, your renown, your Palia coins, skill tokens, etc. So if you look, you'll see that skill coins cap out at 2,000, gold maxes out at 1,000,000, and your renown caps out at 10,000. On the left side of your menu, you'll see your character model and focus meter. You'll see that mine sets at 230 out of 1,000, which is max, with the XP bonus of 100%, again, which is max. The next option is your map, which is pretty straightforward. However, you can do this without actually going into the player menu. For PlayStation, it's just your pad button thing. I don't know what you call that on the PlayStation controller. It'll bring up the map, so you don't even have to come in here to see it. Next up, we have our quest tab, which is pretty self-explanatory. The thing to note is you can pin up to 3 quests by just pressing X. The next tab over is your community tab, and I'm pretty sure this is like creating a guild or something of that nature, just a circle of friends or whatever. I don't use it, so I don't really know. So let's just skip over that one for now. And then we have the news tab, which is worth checking at least once a week, because S6 will usually send free rewards or event rewards, etc. And you can actually claim them by going here. And as you can see, I don't have any, but I'll go over and show you past ones. And you can see that I've already claimed all of this stuff, especially like Twitch drops. This is where they'll send them to as well. So always make sure you check this little tab. Next up is a very important menu for your relationships. This will basically list every NPC in the game that you've met and the progress that you have for friendship with them. You will see their daily gifts, their weekly wants, and the rewards of each friendship rank. Level 2 will usually grant like renown and stuff or certain items. Level 3 will usually unlock a house key, and higher ranks will usually unlock housing decoration. Just a quick tip, if your character has a blue chat icon or green, not sure what color this is, it usually means that they are ready for a conversation that will boost your friendship. Now that's very important to keep in mind when you're trying to build up a relationship quickly. The chats can reset per day, and that's in-game per day, not actual daytime. So anytime that the daily resets during 6 a.m. server time, you can pull this up and see if they're ready for a conversation. If they are, you can go talk to them. If they're not, then you can talk to them, but it won't count as any XP for their friendship. Always check this if you're trying to build relationships. This is the easiest thing to look at. Our accomplishments is basically like achievements. Every time that you get an achievement or something, it'll show up here. So if you are looking for a certain achievement, you can always go in here and find it. And once you get to like level 10 of any of your skills, you'll start earning tokens that can be traded in for rewards. Then we have collections, which will show you your emotes, stickers, outfits, pets, tools, skins, and nameplates, etc. Next up is our featured guides. Now this menu I covered in a previous video, but I'll briefly go over. And it's basically showing us our seasonal festival events. It will come up showing you all the new items that they added in. And then you can look at tasks that's maybe like quest items, etc. that shows up. And then you have the bundle board and the daily quest items. And when you do daily quest items, you can actually earn reroll tokens for cosmetics. I personally don't do this, but if you're into that, it's not hard to do. You just do whatever they ask you to do. It's usually catch certain bugs or certain fish or cook certain items. Then we have the friends menu. And unfortunately on console, I don't know how on PC this is, but it's absolutely a nightmare to navigate on PlayStation. Even the chat menus are kind of a pain too, to be honest. But you can actually go into your friends menu, and it will also show you party members, friends, etc, etc. So if we go back to the menu again, we'll go down to the camera option, which is actually a very simple tool for taking screenshots. However, I kind of wish they would like let you do filters or poses or something. I don't know. It's a little too simple, but it worked. And that basically means that you can request items. and you can request up to 4 items per day. The only caveat is that you had to previously have or owned that item before you can actually request it. So for instance, if there's a rare fish that you haven't caught, you can't request it until you've caught it. If you go over, you can see that people request items and you can send them items as gifts and you'll get renowned as a reward. And if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I think there's a reward if you give so many requests done. I think it's like 100 or something. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's actually an achievement. Next up is our character profile. And of course, this is basically details that you can fill out to let other players see any type of detail that you want to put in here. And then we have housing tools, which I've already talked about, basically like letting you place objects or pick them up, etc., etc. Then we have settings. Pretty much it's like your gameplay settings, your audio, controller, brightness, etc. A lot of stuff in here. I usually always turn camera shake off, but everything in here is pretty much up to you, personal preference if you want to say it. And then we have the unstuck button, which is worth remembering because it will teleport you to the next safe spot if you get stuck or glitched or something, and trust me, it happens quite a bit. Then you have announcements, which will show you your patch notes, updates, etc. I recommend that you disable reoccurring ones so it only shows up the new ones. Then we have credits and player support, which are at the bottom. If you want to submit like a ticket for bugs or quest glitches or whatever it may be, you basically hit this button. It'll give you a QR code, which you'll have to go through on your phone and submit a ticket.
And that is it for this video. I would like to personally thank you for watching. If you found this guide helpful, please leave a like. And if there's something that you would like to see in more detail, please leave a comment below and I'll see what I can do for you. Remember, stay safe, stay cozy, and most importantly, have a great time gaming.